right, I'm gonna turn it over to Teachable Moments. Okay,
Chandler
this is
Bing.
Teachable Moments with Chandler Bing. I don't know about you. I know today's teachable moment is make sure you go to the bathroom every chance you get. I go before school starts. I go conference time. I go lunch, even when I don't have to, because I don't. I've been lucky. I'm not one of those. I don't want to be one of those teachers that's up there dancing in the front of the room, going and having to knock next door to your teacher. Like, hey, can you watch my kids real quick? I got to run to the bathroom. Like, I don't want to be like that. So I go every chance I get. But this teachable moment, isn't only for me. It's for my students or your students. You know, I've had kids tell me they forgot to go to the bathroom, and I'll be like, "How do you forget?" And I think I said this last year when we were doing the first season. It always takes me a couple weeks when school starts to realize, oh yeah, these boys and girls are new to second grade. So all that stuff we talked about last year, that was last year's group. Now I got to redo stuff. But I'm always having to tell these kids, like, look, there's a time when you don't have to go to the bathroom at all, and there's a time when it's an emergency. You guys got to start looking for that in between. Because I had kids that are like dancing, like, I gotta go, Mr. Bing. And I'm like, well, I already sent so-and-so. So I gotta go. And I was like, I can't send everybody at once. And it's like you don't know if you can trust them. When 5 people start saying, I really got to go, it's like, I may send 2 of you, but I can't send all 5 of you because all sorts of happens in the bathroom,
You're all, sucks to you guys, but somebody's having an accident today.
Yeah. Should have brought a bag strapped to your hip or thigh there, little guy. Speaking of bathrooms, I was talking to the custodian, and I thought this was only a boy thing. She told me some of the girls are going to the bathroom, they lock the stall, and then they climb under. And so when kids, I thought boys, I remember hearing about boys doing this years ago, even when I still lived in Illinois. It's kind of like their prank of being like, you can't go to the bathroom because it's locked. But I don't understand. It's kind of funny at first, and then I'm like thinking, when I think about we're running out of time, by the way, on the Zoom.
Oh.
But it's kind of funny to think about. You can't go to the stall when you want to, but then I'm like, but if you lock it from the inside, you have to crawl on the floor to get out, and I'm like, that's disgusting, So anyway, like I said,
that time in Golden Corral.
Yeah,
I know why the door was locked.
Anyway, just saying, go to the bathroom when you can, and that's your teachable moment.
Chandler.
All right, so let's move on over to teachable moments. You reading it right now? Is that why you're shaking your head?
I feel bad. I'm like,
So I first want to recognize our custodians, and then this is more about me apologizing. I've apologized to them in person, but I want to apologize over the airways. Yeah. So custodians do a lot. They only get certain holidays off. They work all summer except for like 4th of July and whatnot, unless they take leave.
I got one for you. Custodians actually deal with a lot of.
Yeah, they do a lot of. Exactly. They have to clean up a lot of.
Yep.
Exactly. But I'll tell my class every year that these custodians will work all summer, making the classroom look great, right? And then my kids, even though I tell them, they have the little pencil sharpeners, sharpen it over the trash can. They sharpen it at their desk. The pencil shavings falls on the ground. Next thing you know, it starts smearing and it messes up the floor. But I'm like, so 2 years ago, we've done a science project where we tried to make ice cream, and we planned to do it outside. That was in the plans. Well, that day it was cold and rainy. So I was like, okay, we can do it inside. We got paper towels or whatever, right? Dude, we screwed up. We up a corner of the hallway. And one of the head custodians, she wasn't mad at us because the lady that had to clean it up, I guess it kind of been lazy lately. And so she was like, yeah. She was like, I had no problem with her doing it. But my first year, like, you're laughing at this. Now, this was completely stupid on my part. I let the kids we're doing glitter on a poster. Wasn't even thinking. Right? This is where you have to, as a teacher, like you said, have to have a process in place, right? I had no process. There's glitter everywhere. Everywhere. Right? And I felt so bad for the custodian. Because glitter is, you can't get off your hands and clothes, and like it's just stuck on you permanently.
It's horrible. Like, I don't even understand who invented glitter. Like, it's like what, like little bits and pieces of plastic that just like sticks on you.
Don't you have to worry? Like you have to worry. Like if it gets inside your lungs, isn't it like super harmful? Not that you should be drinking it anyway, but like if it were to happen, because it's not childproof. You know, when you think about it, like it's super small.
I just know that like I don't like to deal with it because you see it, it gets stuck, and then like the next thing you're like, it's on my arm. Like, how long has it been there? I haven't been anything. I thought that had glitter on it.
Actually, the only thing that's worse than glitter is laminate. You know, you can't get laminate off your hand. It's all that friction or that static or whatever on it. You know.
Yeah.
But then the last thing I put out here is have you ever seen? I don't know if you ever seen little kids use bottle glue. So bottle glue works better than glue sticks, right? Yeah. But these little kids are like, they got like this face where they squeeze out every little drop of glue they can. I'm like, and then their paper gets stuck to the paper on above it because it's like there's glue everywhere.
It has like those little wet spots.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I just roll my eyes at them, and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't have time to teach you proper glue etiquette. So let's just use glue sticks. You know, I'm sorry, I'm lazy there, but I was like, there's so much I got to do. It's like the last thing I want to do is like, let's focus on that one thing. It's not gonna happen. But anyway, that's it for Teachable Moments
with Mr. Chandler Bing.
And now let's move on to Teachable Moments. What are you laughing at? That little photo I have there?
No, the don't buy new school supplies. I'm like, wait, where's this going? I want to learn. What are you?
All right, so here's my teachable moment. Right, this is a note for really me and teachers, not for parents. Parents, you buy your school supplies, but I know like teachers tend to spend a lot of their own money on things for the classroom, right? What I've noticed last year and this year, kids drop a lot of stuff on the ground, and then they're too lazy to pick it up. Now, eventually, this leads to potential arguments where they tell me, Mr. Bing, so-and-so stole my pencil. And I'm like, what? And then I go ask that kid, where'd you find it? It was on the ground. And I'm like, well, they didn't steal it. They found it on the floor, man. Maybe you should pick up your stuff. But no, they drop so much on the floor that every day I'm just like, pick it up. We have a bag, a strictly pencil bag. Right now it's one big one. Well, actually, it used to be one big one. A lot of them have been using them. But then we also have crayon bags and stuff. We have 2 crayon bags and markers because they just leave it on the ground. And we go over there and swoop it up and pick it up for them. In the past, I'd be like buying pencils for kids. And I remember one of my assistant principals was like, he's like, yeah, go do it. It's not that big a deal. And I was like, well, you know, I know it only costs like $3 to buy, you know, like one thing. But if I have to do that every week, I mean, not that I'm like that poor, but I'm like, it adds up. Especially that and these snacks, man. But no, I'm just saying. So that's my teachable moment tip. So on this edition of Teachable Moments, and you may know this more as a parent, kids, don't play with your snacks, especially at school. You ever seen kids? Did your kids play with their food when they're little, or even now at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, see, actually, most of the time that I've done 3rd grade and 2nd grade, we have, well, especially also doing 2nd grade, we have specials, recess, and lunch is like all back to back, right? And so kids will take their lunch snack with them to specials, and like sometimes the kids had. I remember there was one time. This is what gave me the teachable moment. Kid had chips, and he's just throwing it up in the air, right? And I'm telling him stop. You know, don't do that. He's throwing it up in the air, and then he ends up like dropping on the ground, and someone steps on it. And I was just like, if you hadn't been throwing it in the air, it wouldn't got crushed. Another time, someone was doing that, and their bag burst open, right? And there's food all over the ground, and somebody was like picking it up, eating it off the floor, and I was like, dude, stop that. But like, I was like, that's disgusting. It's not even your food anyway. But then the kid that had dropped it and had broken all open was obviously upset. But I'm like, I can't do anything about that. I told you to stop it. You know, I told you to quit throwing it in the air. Hopefully now you learn not to do that in the future. But the kids ever do that at your house when they were little?
Oh no, God no! Whoop their butt. But I know what you're talking about. Like I've seen. I mean, it's more elementary than anything else. Like sometimes you get like those middle school kids, but a lot of times it's like your elementary kids that just want to like that whole bottle flip crap. Like got kids.
Oh, I hate that.
Let me see what I can toss up in the air and land us, or where you're like, it's a meaningless skill.
Well, I just hate that. I hate it because it doesn't take much for the bottle to like break, and then stuff goes everywhere. Like they'll do it with milk cartons. And by the way, I saw something online. There's like a milk carton shortage right now, which is affecting some schools. I don't know what. I didn't read the article, so I don't know what states are a part. But I guess like they're not being able to have like milk cartons like the same way they used to. So I don't know what those schools are doing. But no, when I see kids with chocolate milk flipping it, I'm like, I told them to stop. And like I've said this before, is like, unlike when we were in school, I explained like, hey, don't do that. Like, don't do that because I don't want this to happen. But I'll see them flip it and then it breaks. And then there's chocolate milk everywhere. And I'm like, or there's regular milk. But I'm like, either way, you can't just wipe it up. We have to go get, cleaner or something because it's going to be sticky as, so it's like, but these kids, they don't understand it until they do it, And they're like, oh.
It just sucks too because you're like, they get this look of like, what? How did that? I'm sorry. How did that happen? You're like, I told you. Hey, this is what's gonna happen. I'm trying to be nice about it and explain it nicely in a nice, even keeled tone. Then you go and you do it anyways. You mess up and you're like, why are you mad? It's like,
I like the kids, and this is I like the kids that get syrup over their desks in the morning because they come in late and they're eating breakfast, and then I tell them to clean it up and they just go get a paper towel, and so the desk is still sticky, and I'm like, no, like with water you can just wipe it up with a towel, but anything other than water, you actually got to get one of the wet wipes, people. It's like you can't, or otherwise it's going to still be bad. You spill milk, oh, heaven forbid you spill milk. I had a kid, I don't know if I told you this. She was like complaining. She's like, it smells like cucumbers on my desk. And I was like, well, maybe you put cucumbers inside there. And she's like, no, I didn't do that. And I was like, well, look, there's not a single student in this class who just went to your desk and pulled out your stuff. And I was like, let me just spill cucumber. Because every now and then we get cucumbers at lunch. And I was like, nobody just put cucumbers in your desk. I was like, so if it smells like cucumbers, whose fault is it? It's like, it's somebody else's fault. It's your fault. But all right, so let's now move on over to teachable moments. This is something that I may have repeated last year. I can't remember. I do know I thought about this last year, but now that it's getting wintertime for us, although wintertime for us is really nothing compared to people up north. Parents, please remember to send your kids to school with coats and jackets because they actually, believe it or not, keep kids warm. I roll my eyes, shake my head. It'll be like, it's only like in the mid-40s. I say only because mid-40s for us mid-40s for people up north is really nothing, right?
yeah.
These kids come here, no jackets, no t-shirts, hair is wet, and I'm just like, what the? But then what makes it even doubly confusing to me is it'll be 100 degrees later on the school year, and they're wearing hoodies, and I'm like, what's going on, people? But you wonder why people get sick, man. I'm just like, where's your jacket?
My older ones are starting to do that crap, and so I'm like, dude, the beginning of the school year, you were wearing jeans and a hoodie, and like, oh, it's because it's cold in the classrooms, and I'm like, then take the hoodie with you. Don't walk out of the house when it's already 85 degrees in the morning wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's just easier, and I'm like, whatever. And then you come and get in the truck at the end of the day when it's 105 wearing the hoodie. And I'm like, I don't care if it's easier or not. Like, you look stupid. But then when it's like 45 degrees, I'm like, let's go. We got to get to class. We got to get to school. I come out like a t-shirt and shorts, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, I did. I'm like, yeah, it is. Wear at least a jacket that you can take off. I get the legs maybe because my thing, like, I wake up or something like that when I'm going out, not when I'm going to work, with like shorts and a hoodie, because I'm like, what's going to get warmer so I can lose the sweater or whatever. But I don't walk out like a moron.
Christmas Eve, I was out Christmas Eve, right? I was out to do a couple things before I hung out with the family. Since I was going to hang out with the family later, I don't know what I was thinking. I must have misheard the Echo Dot when I left.
Yeah.
I had a Christmas sweater on, right? So I was balls sweaty now, right? Like I couldn't. I remember there was some lady was talking to me, and she was behind me in line, and kind of asked me how my day was, and I told her, I was like, I can't tell, ma'am, if it's really hot outside or if I have a fever and I don't know. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I cannot stop sweating. I was like, I just can't get over it. And I had to, as soon as I got out, I had to take the sweater off, and basically what it was, man, it's just, you know, it's not winter weather down here, you know.
Yeah.
It's, a lot of times it's hot, and so I get, you know, because people are like, oh, it's gonna warm up. But I'm like, yeah, wear long sleeves until it warms up right now, because it's December, about to be January. But I still, and I've been making fun of it for years. I just don't get these kids that wear the black hoodie when it's like, you know, super hot outside. They're just sweating. I know it's got to be like a body image thing, and they don't want it like, but like you don't care when it's cold. Why do you care when it's hot? I don't get it. But here's what it is, right?